joint members of the HOG Auckland Chapter as we assemble and make our way down into the Waikato, down to Kawhia. This is the running of our club's annual fish and chip ride, which happens soon after New Year. Now, we'd normally run it on the 2nd of January as we did last year, but what we found at that time was that there was a shortage of places that are actually open. So this year it's a little bit later. I think this was run on the 6th of January, and we're heading for a destination we haven't been to before as a club, that's Kawhia. So looking forward to this one. We're heading down the southern motorway. As you can see, we got off at Mercer and we set off on really what's been a bit of a schizophrenic day. We're all in our wets because it was raining up at Bombay Z service station when we left, but the rain didn't really turn into anything much, so it was really just hovering around in the distance, and every now and again we'd have a light spray on us, which nothing too much to be worried about. The roads were in good nick, as you can see, and we're heading up Mercer Ferry Road here, making our way up towards Glen Murray area. Now, as we came to a stop here at Mulbush Road, just before we get onto Highway 22, we were passed by another group of Harley riders, many of them our mates, a couple of riders also from the Auckland Chapter amongst them who were on their own separate run. They were heading off down to Raglan. So they passed us by here. We didn't see them again after that. We carried on our own way. We shared Highway 22 together for a little bit. We were running just behind them. But we parted ways when the turn off to Raglan came ahead. We pressed straight on through on our way to our destination. Small world. Here, we certainly did see a lot of motorbikes out this day. Of all kinds, not just Harleys. Everybody was out enjoying the mostly clear weather. Now, as we were making our way down Highway 22, we're eventually heading towards Glen Murray Road, at which point we're going to join on to Glen Murray Road, which is happening right here, and that's going to swing us back towards the Waikato River, the mighty Waikato, and from there we'll then veer somewhat in a southerly direction, heading towards Huntley. We're going to take a break at Ngaruawahia. So the riding up here in Glen Murray is really nice. There's quite a nice big lake there. I'm probably going to murder the name. I think it's called Fungape. I'm not sure. But anyway, it's looking quite reflective, quite marvellous really. If you had a drone, I guess you'd want to maybe put one up. It could look quite spectacular. It seems to have a lot more water in it than it would normally do. Maybe the abundance of rain that we had last year maybe helped top it up a little bit more than normal. If you do stay on this road, it will take you, eventually wind your way through, almost to right through and crossing over the Waikato River at Rangariri, but we in fact turned off on Tongara Road, and this is going to lead us through, or pretty much making a cut through on the way to Huntley. We're going to come up on Huntley from a different direction than we might normally do, so I'm directly behind Shayne, our road captain here, as you can see, and this road is kind of a bit of a treat, haven't been on that much before, and it eventually leads on to Hetherington Road, and from this angle we were delighted to see the Twin Towers of Huntley, the stacks from the Huntley power station appearing out of the middle of the countryside as we come up on them and head down towards the river, making our way towards up Riverview Road, running alongside the Waikato before we got to the BP Connect at Ngaruawahia, where we took a bit of a break, stretched our legs. Everybody decided, no man, it's so hot, we're all getting rid of the wet weather gear, and we did, almost everybody, apart from my wife on the back, because she was a little bit more sceptical than most, and for a while there it looked like her commitment to the wet weather gear was going to pay off in dividends, because the skies did start to look a bit threatening, and we ended up coming pretty close to a bunch of showers later on. left State Highway 31 and jumped onto Ngutunui Road, which is this one here. And yeah, it's a beautiful ride. Real country riding. The road's in pretty good shape. Had some rain through here because it's a little bit of a rainforest kind of situation. Before it eventually links back onto State Highway 31, and we're now on Kawhia Road, and we'll be staying on this one all the way through until we get to our destination. We are heading to the Kawhia Fish Shop, which is right on the coast in the middle of the small and delightful Kawhia township, right on the coast, deep in the Waikato. So heading over the hills here, we were treated to some pretty nice riding. It's really, really good up here, and the hills really emphasised the schizophrenic weather nature of the day. The right hand side of the hill was in sunshine, blue skies. The left hand side of the hillside, if we looked over to our left, was dark, threatening and raining. So we were all kind of pinning our hopes that we are in fact going to be veering to the right hand side where the weather was good, and not to the left, because as you can see it was pretty bleak over there, and I was bitterly regretting at this stage not having my wet weather gear on. But as it turns out, we didn't run into the rain. Our general course did lead us down to the right hand side, which is where the good weather was and where our destination is, and we stayed dry, so good things happened. Now, as you can see, there's no shortage of road cone budgets in New Zealand anywhere. I just thought it was Auckland City, but it's everywhere. Where one road cone will do, why use one? We could use about 100, so they're all over the place trying to mark things. I guess they're trying to make people safe, but yeah, don't get me started. Anyway. Here, as you can see, we've probably already gone over the summit here. We're starting to head away downhill, kind of down towards sea level, as we carry on along State Highway 31. Now, it's a really nice riding road. While I was complaining about the orange cones, there wasn't really too much disruption for roadworks or future potential roadworks along the way, and the riding was pretty well uninterrupted as we carried on down here. Pretty happy with it all, and to be honest, there was hardly any traffic around as well. It was just us, so we really had it to ourselves. I don't know quite why people were staying away. Maybe it's soon after New Year and people are they're already wherever it is that they're staying, or they're not prepared to do any moving because it is pretty hot and sticky. Not really very comfortable for riding around, especially on your motorbikes when you need a full leather gear. It's okay when you're rolling, but when you have to stop, man alive, it turns into a bit of a sauna, that's for sure. Anyway, we eventually got down to sea level, and then we find that instead of finding Kawhia right at the foot of the hills, we've got a bunch more riding to do hugging the coast road. And the first thing you notice here is that this particular part of the Waikato region is, well, it's very tidal, and this day when we were travelling there, the tide was flat out. A lot of mud flats stretching as far as the eye can see. But we still made our way through to Kawhia. We're pretty sure that the fish store had managed to get a good stock of fish in to go with the chips that we're going to be ordering in abundance real soon. And here we are now, just coming up upon Kawhia Township itself. The final approach on State Highway 31, we're going to do a little zigzag at the bottom end of the street, just past the petrol station, and turn down Jervois Street, which is the main drag, so to speak, leads through towards the wharf and the fish store. And when we get there, it's pretty much every man and woman for themselves. Find a park wherever you can, because we didn't have any reserved parking. Fair enough, it's holiday season after all. But as we pull in their parking, there's quite a few excited little kids in the neighbourhood that had been rushing over, and you can probably hear them yelling out, "Rev it up, rev it up!" to everybody that was riding near them. Anyway, we're going to close this one off. Hope you've enjoyed this first ride. A bit of a look through, tiki tour through the Waikato down to Kawhia. Great place, definitely go back. And yep, the fish and chips was amazing. Very much enjoyed it. As we swing around the last corner, it's pretty much just trying to find a spot where we can park the bike and head into the shop, which is in the brown building we can see there to the right. Now we did one small loop, came back again and parked up the end of the street. And that's about where we're going to leave this one. Hope you've enjoyed watching this first video of 2024. Safe riding everybody for the riding year ahead. Take care out there, ride safe, have fun. See you on the next one.